The mystery surrounding Aristotle Dumas' identity and the return of Cain Ashby in the complex and ever-changing world of the young and the restless, the story of Aristotle Dumas has become one of the most intriguing mysteries. Viewers are not only curious about the true identity of this mysterious man, but have also begun to speculate whether Cain Ashby, who left the show in 2019, could be behind Aristotle Dumas' empire and whether he could return to Y&R in the future. Who is Aristotle Dumas? Aristotle Dumas, a powerful name, has created a lot of skepticism and speculation among the Y&R fan community. This person is known for the mystery surrounding his identity and goals. Described as a man of great influence in the business world, but keeping all information about himself secret, Aristotle Dumas has become a ghost, lurking in the shadows but always making big moves in the world of the powerful in Genoa City. Aristotle's sudden appearance in the story, especially in March 2025, when Billy Abbott mentioned this name to Jack Abbott, has left the audience wondering, could this mysterious man have a deep connection to people they have met in the past? Could Cain Ashby be Aristotle Dumas? This question began to arise when the actor Goddard, who plays Cain Ashby, revealed some information on Instagram, causing fans to speculate about the possibility of him returning to the show in an important role. These comments only fueled speculation that Cain Ashby could be reborn as a new character, Aristotle Dumas. Fans were skeptical about this identity change when they heard about it during a conversation on the March 2nd episode. Billy Abbott mentioned Aristotle Dumas, and Jack Abbott suddenly recalled that the name had appeared on Genoa City about 5 or 6 years ago. This timing perfectly matches Cain Ashby's departure from the show in 2019, leading many to wonder if Cain could have reinvented himself under a new name. Cain Ashby, with his sharp strategic sense and checkered past, is the perfect character to take on the role of head of a mysterious empire like Aristotle Dumas. After leaving Genoa City, he could have built a completely new identity, with a cunning and anonymous business strategy. This would also explain why Aristotle Dumas has been able to exist in the shadows without anyone really realizing his connection to his past. The return of Cain Ashby, whether or not Cain Ashby will return to Y&R, is a big question. Although Goddard left the show in 2019, the fact that he continues to share hints and secrets about new projects has led many to believe that his return is a very real possibility. And if Cain does return as Aristotle Dumas, it would not only create a huge plot twist, but also open up a lot of questions about how Cain will affect those around him, especially the Abbott family. The relationship between Cain and the Abbott family members, especially Billy and Jack, has always been complicated and full of drama. Cain's return, especially with a new identity and darker goals, would create an interesting confrontation between him and the characters who were once his friends, rivals, and even family. Not only that, if Cain is really Aristotle Dumas, this would make it a big challenge for Billy Abbott, who once had a close relationship with Cain, to identify his old friend. A psychological and business confrontation. The story of Aristotle Dumas will certainly continue to arouse curiosity among the audience, especially about how Cain Ashby might develop this mysterious business empire. If Cain is indeed the man behind Aristotle Dumas, the confrontation between him and the characters in Genoa City will not be limited to business debates, but also a psychological, tactical battle. Once Cain decides to step into the light and reveal his true identity, clashes are inevitable. Characters like Billy, Jack, and even Victoria Newman will face elaborate plots and changes in how they view and treat Cain. Especially with old relationships, Cain Ashby's return could bring pent-up emotions and a battle not only about power but also about loyalty and forgiveness. The fun of a mystery. The combination of mystery, dramatic relationships, and unexpected twists has always been the appeal of the young and the restless. The possibility of Cain Ashby returning as Aristotle Dumas is part of a larger, complex, and profound game that the show is building. Given Goddard's abilities and the depth of Cain's character, his rebirth as Aristotle Dumas would certainly be a moment worth waiting for fans. If Cain returns, the next question is, will he emerge victorious in his confrontation with his old foes, or will his transformation make him more dangerous than ever? The answer is sure to bring many interesting surprises in the upcoming episodes of Y&R. Cain Ashby's mysterious past and his tense relationship with Devon, a powerful return and a conspiracy business plot. The Young and the Restless has always been a fascinating show, where each character can bring unpredictable surprises. One of the most complex and mysterious stories on this show is the past of Cain Ashby, a character who was once said to have a past filled with intrigue, deception, and property disputes. This story not only raises questions about Cain's true identity but also explores the tense relationship between him and Devon Hamilton, one of the most influential figures in the Abbott and Winters family. Over the years, Cain's story has attracted attention not only because of the shocking events but also because of the complicated relationships he has experienced, especially with Devon. From the machinations of Cain's father Colin Atkinson, who created the illusion that Cain was the rightful heir to Catherine Chancellor's vast fortune, to the betrayals and tensions within the family, Cain's story truly offers the audience a fascinating and contradictory look. The complicated relationship between Cain and Devon. The story begins with the machinations of Colin Atkinson, who used Catherine Chancellor's inheritance to create the illusion that Cain was the rightful heir to the fortune. A clever, but deceitful, scheme that saw Devon, one of the Chancellor family's heirs, defrauded and forced to transfer a large sum of money. However, as with all criminal schemes, the truth eventually comes out. Cain was not Catherine's rightful heir, and this truth leaves Devon, who has been deeply affected by the deception, struggling to recover the money he lost. But not long after, the missing property was found and returned to Devon, while Cain, though not the culprit, also joined the hunt for Colin Atkinson. Colin was eventually arrested, and justice was restored. However, the story did not end there. Although the relationship between Cain and Devon was resolved to a certain extent, the tension between them could not be completely resolved. Cain's deception, although not directly, caused wounds that were difficult to heal in Devon's heart. Cain, who participated in the hunt for Colin, became part of this conflict-filled story, whether he wanted to or not. Cain Ashby. From heir to powerhouse businessman. Although the intrigue and the hunt were over, the repercussions of these events still linger. Cain, who once had the chance to become a billionaire for a fleeting moment, now began to have bigger ambitions. Not only does he want to return to a normal life, but he also wants to make an impact in the business world. After losing his chance to inherit Catherine's fortune, Cain cannot deny that the experience has changed him. Becoming a billionaire, even for a short time, has instilled in Cain a great desire for power and success. This eagerness not only helps him assert himself in the business world, but also makes him face difficult decisions in rebuilding his life. Cain is not alone in this fight. Colin Atkinson, who has questionable connections, will certainly play a key role in Cain's business endeavors. Colin, a character who has always been associated with deception and intrigue, may be the one who provides the necessary connections for Cain in his journey to rebuild his empire. The relationships that Colin was able to help Cain tap into were not only key to his ability to overcome his difficulties, but also an important factor in Cain rebuilding his career. The big question is whether Cain can leverage his new connections and opportunities to truly thrive in the business world? Or will he continue to be caught up in complex intrigue that puts him and those around him at risk? Certainly, if Cain decides to return to a larger role in the business world, he will not only face major challenges, but also new enemies and mysteries from his past. The decisions Cain makes will have a profound impact on his future and the characters on Y&R, especially Devon, who has always had a special relationship with Cain. The relationship between the two, despite its many ups and downs, could continue to develop in many different directions, depending on the decisions Cain makes. The future is blurry and unrevealed secrets. Although the relationship between Cain and Devon has gone through many challenges, it is certain that secrets from the past will continue to appear and affect the development of the story. A big question that the audience is asking is whether Cain has truly changed after the past events? Or will he continue to follow the path that Colin has laid out, dragging Cain into the dark conspiracies and plans in the business world? In the future, Cain Ashby can become an extremely important character on The Young and the Restless, if he decides to rebuild himself and create a new empire. However, this is not simple. Cain will have to face difficult choices, and may have times when he gets too deep into schemes, hurting the people he loves. Cain Ashby's story isn't over yet, and his relationship with Devon, and his future business plans, will undoubtedly continue to be a big part of the Young and the Restless journey. His and Devon's struggles, along with Colin's interference and his business enemies, will create dramatic clashes that will push the story to new heights, full of surprises and drama. In a world where every decision can change a character's life, Kane's return in a new role, possibly as a powerful businessman, will certainly change the landscape of the Young and the Restless in the coming episodes. Aristotle Dumas' mysterious identity, is Kane Ashby behind it? In the complex world of the Young and the Restless, one name is stirring up the fan community: Aristotle Dumas. The sudden appearance of this character, along with his secretive attitude and lack of any public image, has left the audience curious. Who is he, and why is he able to maintain such a mystery? This question becomes even more important when the details related to Aristotle Dumas begin to be revealed, with a suspicious connection to Kane Ashby, who may be the mastermind behind Aristotle's actions. Aristotle Dumas, the unsolved mystery. Although Aristotle Dumas has appeared in the Y&R story, to this day, his identity and purpose remain a big mystery. What makes this character so special is his secretive attitude. There are no public images of Aristotle online, which makes it all the more ambiguous to speculate about him. Aristotle seems to appear like a ghost in the world of the powerful in Genoa City, leaving no clear trace of his presence but making big moves and having a strong impact on other characters. Fans have been speculating endlessly about Aristotle's true identity. Is he a familiar character who has changed his identity, or is he a completely new person? These questions are all the more interesting as the show creates an atmosphere of ambiguity and intrigue for the audience. However, as secrets about Aristotle begin to be revealed, people can't help but connect him to old characters and relationships that have developed on the show. Kane Ashby, the man behind Aristotle Dumas? There is a popular theory among fans that Kane Ashby, who has been gone from the show for a long time, could be the mastermind behind all of Aristotle Dumas's activities. Could Kane be the one who has been reborn under a new identity and continues his mysterious business schemes? Considering Kane's past, this story doesn't seem too far-fetched. Kane Ashby, who has been through a lot, from being involved in Colin Atkinson's schemes to rebuilding his career and relationships with the Abbott and Winters families, has always had a great influence in the world of finance and power. However, when fans recall details from Kane's past, it can be seen that he has always had a great desire for power and success, and changing his identity to continue his grand plans could be completely reasonable. Kane had a tense confrontation with Devon Hamilton when he became entangled in the plots surrounding Catherine Chancellor's legacy. Kane's betrayal caused the relationship between him and Devon to become tense and conflicted. If Kane is indeed Aristotle Dumas, the fact that he left Genoa City for a long time and then returned with a completely new identity could explain the mystery surrounding Aristotle. This mystery would be a perfect twist to the story, leaving the audience surprised to discover that Kane was the one behind it all. Damien and Lily's relationship, a hidden secret. One of the most intriguing elements in this story is the relationship between Damien and Lily. Throughout the story, Damien has become a notable character, as he constantly appears and creates tension in the relationship between Lily and those around her. However, one major plot twist that fans may not have realized is whether Damien actually has romantic interests in Lily. Recently, there have been suspicions that Damien may simply be stalking Lily for other reasons, possibly due to his relationship with Kane Ashby. Damien, despite his apparent interest in Lily, may actually be hiding a bigger secret. Is he working for Lily's ex-husband, Kane Ashby, and is actually plotting to destroy what Lily is building? These suspicions become clearer when Damien begins working with Billy Abbott, a character who has a rocky relationship with Lily and the Abbott family. The partnership between Damien and Billy Abbott may not be a coincidence, but part of Kane's plan to target the Chancellor family and destroy what they have built. Damien may have been manipulated by Kane to help him gain access to Lily and the secrets of the Chancellor family. This would not only explain the change in Damien's behavior, but also shed light on why he would want to team up with people like Billy to put pressure on Victor Newman and the Abbott family. Chancellor story, a big plot. One of the key elements that the show is developing is the targeting of the Chancellor family. Cain, with all his machinations and complicated relationships, may have found a way to use these opportunities to rise in the business world. While Cain may have initially been involved in a fight to seize Catherine Chancellor's legacy, his focus may now be on destroying everything the family has built. Damien and Billy Abbott's partnership may be just part of a larger plot to undermine the Chancellor family and return Cain to the position of power he has always desired. If Cain is indeed the man behind Aristotle Dumas, things start to make more sense. From using his relationship with Lily to manipulating Damien and Billy, Cain may be working on a long-term plan to disrupt the Chancellor family's stability. Complicated relationships and unanswered questions as secrets continue to be revealed and conspiracies begin to unfold, the story of the young and the restless will only get more complicated. The relationship between Cain, Damien, Lily, and the Chancellor family will certainly continue to develop in surprising ways. The decisions Cain makes, along with the tense confrontations, will create unpredictable situations in the upcoming episodes. The big question that remains unanswered, is Cain Ashby really Aristotle Dumas? If so, what impact will he have on the other characters on Y&R? Will Damien's secrets continue to affect his relationship with Lily, and will the Chancellor family be able to hold their power against these conspiracies? One thing is for sure, The Young and the Restless has created an intriguing story, with mysterious characters, business intrigue, and complicated relationships all taking the story to new heights. Cain Ashby and the Mysterious Return, the intrigue behind Aristotle Dumas in a world as full of intrigue and secrecy as The Young and the Restless. It's no surprise that departed characters can return, change their appearance, and continue to create big twists. One of the stories that has captured viewers' attention recently is the mysterious appearance of Aristotle Dumas, and the theory that Cain Ashby, Chancellor's former CEO, could be the person behind this name has become a hot topic. Is Cain really the one behind Aristotle's intrigue, and if so, could he be behind an elaborate scheme involving important figures in the Y&R universe? Cain Ashby, Chancellor's former CEO and historical connections. Cain Ashby is no stranger to the world of The Young and the Restless. As one of the former CEOs of Chancellor Industries, Cain played a key role in the growth of the corporation. However, his position within the company was not always smooth. Cain faced off against Victor Newman, the head of Newman Enterprises, in battles that involved not only business but also power and control. The conflict between Cain and Victor Newman is one of the most memorable in Y&R's history. The rivalry between the two was not simply a corporate affair, but also a battle of strategy and intrigue. Cain sought to gain control of Chancellor Industries and rebuild his career while facing strong opposition from Victor. Although Cain eventually stepped down as Chancellor's CEO, these relationships and rivalries still have a strong imprint on the storyline. With such a history, it's no surprise that Cain could be back for a bigger purpose, which is why theories about his role in the current plot make all the more sense. Aristotle Dumas. The man behind the mist. Aristotle Dumas is a mysterious figure that Y&R viewers have begun to take notice of. Described as someone with great influence and power, yet anonymous and without leaving any public traces, Aristotle has become an enigma that viewers can't help but wonder about. There is no public image of Aristotle, and very little information about him, leaving everyone involved with him wondering if what they know about him is just part of a larger plan. However, theories are slowly taking shape. One of the theories is that Aristotle could actually be an impersonation or a character created by someone else, and in this case, the name Cain Ashby is the one that comes up the most. Based on the plots on the show, it is possible that Cain has one of his employees impersonate Aristotle Dumas to carry out schemes that he does not want to be discovered. This could be part of a larger plan that Cain is working on, a plan to regain control of Chancellor or some other goal related to his business career. The Cain theory behind Aristotle Dumas. While there is no clear evidence, some recent Y&R episodes make the theory that Cain Ashby is Aristotle Dumas more plausible than ever. One of the key factors to consider is the phone conversation between Billy Abbott and someone claiming to be Aristotle. In this conversation, the man does not reveal his identity and keeps all personal information secret, only creating a sense of distance and mystery. This immediately suggests that Cain, with his strategic abilities, may have sought to create this mysterious image to hide his true goals. The relationship between Cain, Damien, and Lily. Another important element that viewers are starting to realize is the relationship between Damien, Lily, and Cain. Damien, a conflicted character, has been acting strangely when facing Lily. Does Damien really have a romantic interest in Lily, or is it all part of Cain's plan to monitor and control her? If Cain is really behind Aristotle Dumas, it's possible that Damien was sent to monitor Lily, not out of love, but for a greater purpose, to sabotage Victor and the Chancellor family's plans. While Damien shows interest and builds a relationship with Lily, it's possible that this is just a strategy on Cain's part to keep an eye on her and make sure his plans don't get discovered. Damien may not just be Lily's stalker, but also a pawn in Cain's hands, used to influence those around Lily, including Victor and Billy. Cain's complex plans and business intrigue. Cain Ashby, despite leaving the Chancellor CEO position, is certainly not lacking in ambition and planning. While Billy Abbott is continuing his career with his own strategies, Cain may be working on an elaborate plan to regain control of Chancellor or make a major change in the Genoa City business world. Using Aristotle Dumas as a cover could be a great strategy to approach targets without being detected. If Cain is indeed the man behind Aristotle Dumas, this story will certainly create major twists in the Y&R storyline. Cain is not only a scheming and intelligent character but also someone who is capable of manipulating events and characters around him. Every move he makes will affect the Abbott family, the Winters family, and everyone else involved with Chancellor. Conclusion: unanswered questions. While all theories are still speculative, the mysterious appearance of Aristotle Dumas, along with recent events, has left viewers wondering. Is Cain Ashby really the man behind this name? If so, will he continue his plans to achieve his larger business goals, and what dangers will characters like Lily, Billy, and Victor face? In the world of intrigue and conspiracy on The Young and the Restless, nothing is impossible. The story of Cain and Aristotle Dumas still has many mysteries to solve, and there will certainly be more surprises in the next episodes of the show.